Welcome to BookTube, sir. Can I help you?
Yeah, it's the first of the month, so I'm here for my usual wrap-up TBR combo.
Coming right up. Oh, yes, sir. Your shoe's untied, by the way.
Oh, really? I'm not wearing shoes.
April Fools. So that's one wrap-up TBR combo. Would you like fries with that?
Yes, please. Hey guys, so welcome to my monthly wrap-up and TBR. So this is March wrap-up, April TBR. I read 8 books in March so far. I've been filming this on Sunday, so by the time I post this on Tuesday, April 1st, I may have read a 9th book by then. I'm not sure. The first 3 books I read in March were Final Empire, Well of Ascension, and Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, the Mistborn trilogy. I did a review of each of these books separately. You can go watch those to find out exactly what I thought about them. I mean, if you hadn't read any of the series, definitely watch the Final Empire review. I would suggest watching the Final Empire review, and if you like the Final Empire, then watch the Well of Ascension review to see if you want to continue on the series, and then watch the Hero of Ages review after you read the Well of Ascension to see if you want to finish the series or to get yourself excited for the ending of the series. Whatever, I just decided to make a video for all 3 of them because I just really loved all of them and I wanted to talk about them. I love this series so much. It is the first Brandon Sanderson anything that I've read, and I love it. I love everything about it. I love the characters, I love the story, I love how each book is kind of its own contained narrative, but is kind of a part of this overall grander story, and I thought it was just really well done, really well written. I couldn't put them down most of the time. There's this magic system in here where these things called allomancers can burn metal inside their bodies and use that to do certain things, and I just think it's one of the most unique ideas and one of the funnest things that I've read in a really long time, and I would recommend the series to basically anyone. I can't wait to read more Brandon Sanderson. It took me quite a while to read all those 3. It took until the end of last week to read them all, and then I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I also did a review on. This is by Ransom Briggs. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, but it also just was really underwhelming. I didn't really care too much about it, and really the only reason I did a review on it because I was doing a read along with Alicia and Gary from Book Need Love, but we all kind of agreed that it wasn't all that great. It was really underwhelming, like I said, and overall just You can go watch the review that I posted to find out everything that I thought about it. After I read that, I read these 3 books in a week, and I just posted on Sunday a review mashup of all 3 of these books, and that is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, and Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. I gave Fahrenheit 451 4 out of 5 stars, Brave New World 3 out of 5 stars, and Slaughterhouse 5 5 out of 5 stars. I read these right in a row because they're sort of similar to each other. I mean, Slaughterhouse 5 isn't really all that similar to them at all. It's just, I just really wanted to read them in that order, and I talked about them a lot in my review mashup, so go watch that if you want to know about each book specifically. It's really cool to finally knock off these books off a to-read list that I've had them on for such a long time, and I can move on to other classics now that I have read these ones. After that, I read The Time Machine and The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. I read The Time Machine for Classics Club. I just posted a video on Sunday as well about both of these books. They're both in this one book, but it's 2 books in one book. And I talked about both of them. I gave them both 4 out of 5 stars. And I definitely say that Classics Club is most successful because I did really enjoy reading H.G. Wells' writing, and I enjoyed both stories in their own way. And yeah, just go watch that video if you want to learn more about what I thought. I'll put links to all of the things that I'm talking about in the description. This morning, Sunday morning, like I said, I'm filming this on Sunday. I just started this on Sunday morning, Arithmetic by Brandon Sanderson. By the time I upload this video, I might have this finished, I might not, but I'm still kind of going to count this towards March, just because I'm starting it in March. I'm probably going to read most of it in March. So far, it's really interesting. I'm really not far into it at all yet. I'm 10 pages into it maybe. But it's basically about this kind of sort of magic system type of thing where people draw things with chalk to fight one another, and it's really interesting. It's a really great concept, I think, and I love Brandon Sanderson's writing, and I can't wait to do a review of this when I finish it, which will probably happen next weekend or something. I also just really like the illustrations that are in this book. There's this map of a really weird United States in here. Instead of Rhode Island, it's just called Rhodes, and that's fun. That's fun to see. And then Maryland is just broken up into Baltimore, which is fine. At least they put something from Maryland in there. I like how Texas is just Texas. I like how there's West Carolina and East Carolina instead of North and South. That's funny. Anyway, I'm really excited to get further and further into this book. The first things that I'm going to read in the month of April is this Buddhist scriptures book. I've said a few times in this channel that I am really trying to read more religious texts to get a better understanding of as many religions as I possibly can, and Buddhism just seems like a really interesting religion to get into. And I'm also going to be reading this separate book called the Dhammapada. It's not included in the Buddhist scriptures book, so I'm going to be reading both of these, and Polly's going to be like making notes on them. And it's really kind of for educational purposes, just because I feel like I'm not really going to do a review of it or anything, and I just don't know how I'm going to possibly be able to rate it when I finish reading it, but whatever. I'm excited to see what these books have to say. And then for the rest of the month of April, I'm mainly going to be focused on reading Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. This is a monster of a book that I've just been really excited to read for a while. This book, including all of the end notes, which I am going to read because it's part of the story, it's 1,079 pages long, and I'm just really excited to get into this. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to read. It'll probably take me a pretty good chunk of the month to read, which is fine by me. I read quite a bit in March, so focusing mainly on this in April isn't that big of a deal. Like I said, I'm just really interested in reading it. It's supposed to be really like entertaining and funny, and kind of a play on how certain types of entertainment have come to take control of our lives. And it's just supposed to be really like interestingly written. I'm honestly going into it not knowing much more about it than that, and that's kind of the way I like it. And yeah, so after I finish reading Infinite Jest, I don't really have a set like TBR for what I'm going to read when I finish it or anything. I'm just going to pick from the books that I already have here of what I'm going to read. I think these 3 books are the books that I'm going to pick from. Siddhartha by Herman Hesse, which is really short, so I'll probably be able to fit that in. This is supposed to be like a really inspiring type of book about life and trying to abandon like greed, about like suffering and finding peace and stuff like that. And I think it sounds really interesting, and it's a classic that I've been wanting to read for a while. And the other 2 books I might try to fit in are I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. I know this is way different from the movie with Will Smith, and I'm kind of glad about that. I'm really excited to get into this. I can't believe I haven't read anything by Richard Matheson. He is like a big inspiration to Stephen King, who is obviously my favorite writer, as everybody knows already. And I just really can't wait to finally see what happens in the book instead of in like a movie adaptation of it. And the last book is Mystic River by Dennis Lehane. Dennis Lehane wrote Shutter Island, which is a movie by Martin Scorsese now, and it's in the favorite movies. And the reason that I picked up this book was because I didn't want to read Shutter Island, because I didn't want to be introduced to like the writer's writing through a book that's based on a movie that I really love, if that makes sense. I wanted to read a book that is a story that's fresh to me, that's new to me, that I don't know anything about. I mean, I know this is a movie too, but I'm definitely going to watch the movie until after I read it. I've seen some really mixed reviews on the movie, people who absolutely love it and people who don't think it's a very good adaptation of the book. It's basically about this group of friends who one of them is kind of like, he disappears and something like terrible happens to him, and then he kind of goes through their life years later where none of them are really the same because of what happens. I think it just sounds really interesting. I really want to see if I like Dennis Lehane's writing, so I can pick up some more books by him if I do like it. And anyway, that is it for this wrap up in TBR. I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys are reading this month, how many books you read last month, how many books you plan to read in this upcoming month. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've talked about and what you thought of them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.